The job market is cooked in the UK. This is yet another story about how bad the job market is in the UK right now.
Unemployment has increased by 10% under this new Labour government since the Conservatives lost power.
It has now begun. As many people predicted, the tsunami wave of job losses has now begun, with Sainsbury's and Morrison's sacking thousands of people because of her shit budget.
And obviously a lot of businesses and business leaders are concerned, particularly after the recent budget, which introduced tax hikes, higher minimum wage and increased employer national insurance contributions.
These changes are simply being used as an excuse so big companies can cut jobs, cut costs in order to increase and safeguard their profit margins.
And then there's the argument of just leave the UK, but then I do want to stay. I want to work in the NHS. I've got friends and family here. But it doesn't feel like politicians particularly care to make these changes, which is a real shame.
And I've been applying to jobs for 2 years, 2 whole years. I just feel like these job companies can sense how desperate I am. That's why they don't want to hire me.
Been unemployed for coming up to 2 months, I think, and oh my god, I can't do it. I literally can't do it anymore. Savings are slowly going down because, I still have to friggin' live.
This is why they say anything can happen. I just lost my job. This job economy that we're at right now, it's so hard to find a job. It was so difficult. It was so difficult to find this one already.
I've just had an interview at a cafe. I killed that interview. Absolutely killed it. I came out thinking that job's mine until the had said 125 people have applied for this job.
Welcome back to Brit Rants, where we talk about the real Britain, not the fantasy politicians push. They say, get a job like there's one on every corner. But today's job market, it's a wasteland. 0-hour contracts, AI taking roles, constant layoffs, and the few jobs left don't even pay enough to survive. People are being replaced, burned out, or just tossed aside, while the government brags about record employment. The truth? Brits are working more for less, or not working at all, because there's nothing left to apply for. So today, we're diving into TikTok's fury and the voices of a nation being gaslit by broken job stats and false promises. Hit subscribe if you're tired of hearing, just work harder in a system that's barely offering a lifeline.
Unemployment has increased by 10% under this new Labour government since the Conservatives lost power, which isn't overly surprising if you look at all the policies they put in place on day dot with their absolute ridiculous increase in national insurance for companies, etc. People can't afford to hire people like they used to. So I'm not really sure what the logic was there, but yeah, higher taxes, less employment, more people on benefits. It's just totally the wrong way around. Makes absolutely zero sense. I honestly don't know what the plan was, unless this is the plan. Is this what they want? I don't know.
Hey up people, look, we're all good today. So, obviously, I've been made redundant 3 weeks ago, and finding a job's alright, but the interviews, me. Is it me or what? Or do they ask you the most stupidest questions? Why do you want to come and work for me? Or why do you want to come and work for us? Well, I need a job. That's what? 25 years I've been a chef. I've just had an interview at a cafe. A cafe of all places. Start at 9, you finish at 5. All right, it was a manager role as a catering manager. Get your words out, you prick. Anyway, 38 grand a year. I killed that interview. Absolutely killed it. I came out thinking that job's mine. Until the had said 125 people have applied for this job. I was fucked. I was screwed. I knew it. There's always some out there that's better than you, isn't there? Anyway, they're lost anyway. Thought I'd have a rant. Still waiting for a few more, but it is what it is, innit, at the end of the day. I do. I've accepted a job at my old place, back in the kitchens in a pub, as a chef. Don't want to do it, but it'll pay the mortgage, won't it? Anyway, happy days. Gotta stop shouting. Anyway, ciao amigos. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Goodbye.
It has now begun. As many people predicted, the tsunami wave of job losses has now begun, with Sainsbury's and Morrison's sacking thousands of people because of her shit fucking budget. It's highly likely we'll be hearing similar statements from Tesco's and Asda's. And the thing is, it won't even just stop there. It's now going to be anything of consumer face type of role. So that'll be retail, that'll be leisure, that'll be anything up to hotels, could be anything. It's going to be bad. And I can guarantee she's going to stick around, stick her heels in, but she'll off right before these supermarkets up their prices in April when we get hit with another big cost of living crisis. She'll stop her right before that hits. You watch. And if they do, they should be jail. It should be jail anyway. It really does seem to me that Lego head here, Rachel from accounts, needs to pop to HR, human resources, and get her mother P45 because she is just shit up. Get rid of her! For fuck's sake!
Some of the biggest employers in the UK are saying that the minimum wage increase and the change to employers' national insurance are going to lead to job losses. But the truth is, job cuts are completely avoidable, and far too often these changes are simply being used as an excuse so big companies can cut jobs, cut costs in order to increase and safeguard their profit margins. Take Tesco, a mega corporation who've been really vocal about the minimum wage rise and the hike to national insurance for employers. While they might complain and say that it's hurting their company, research from Unite the Union shows that last year, even with the change to employers' national insurance, they would have still made £2.5 billion in profit. Companies' profits are being prioritised over the jobs and conditions of workers, and it's vital that people join a trade union, both to smash through the lies from these companies and to safeguard their jobs.
How are the girls who have been unemployed for, let's say, over 3 months still alive and kicking? I've been unemployed for coming up to 2 months, I think, and oh my god, I can't do it. I literally can't do it anymore. Savings are slowly going down because, I still have to friggin' live. At the same time, I can't make any plans with any of my friends or actually go visit them because, once again, no money's coming in. All you see is it go down and down and down in your savings. Woke up feeling like absolute dog shite. Practically did nothing, so what is there to do? Been feeling really down at the moment anyway, but I thought, come on, let's get on the job search, let's do it, get out of the way. And I did my casual, going on every single careers website possible, all of your big companies, seeing if they're hiring, and I do this at least once a week. Guess what? There was a job. There was a job in my city centre, and I thought, perfect, let's go for it. Application took about an hour. They even asked for my uniform. Made me submit a form for my uniform for this job, and I'm like, hold on, haven't even got an interview yet. Why do you need that? And you upload your CV and then they ask for all of their little own CV questions. You have to put in your whole education again and all your job work experience again. Even though they've already got it, they just need it in their own terms, which is so annoying because that takes literally an hour to do. Submitted it all. I was feeling positive because at least there is a job opening to apply for. Most of the time there's not even a single job in my city, so they're like, oh, go to London or be unemployed. Which, yeah, can't go to London right now, babes. I was feeling kind of positive. I was like, you know what? I've applied to a job and it's a job I'd actually like to do. That's something. Literally half an hour later, I get the email. After careful consideration, your application's been unsuccessful. Half an hour later, why have you still got it posted? Also, the application's close was the 7th of March, and this wasn't on their website a few days ago when I last checked. So I thought I was getting in there early, securing a spot early on. But no, they've obviously already got someone for the job and they're not hiring anymore, so take it down because you've wasted an hour of my time. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm just anxious about money all the time. I also hate just not having a routine and I feel so unproductive and lazy every single day. And I feel like I haven't seen anyone. Look at the weather outside. It is 1 o'clock right now. It is 1 o'clock and it literally looks like it's about to get dark. So I literally got up, did all of that, got that email saying I'm unsuccessful, thinking what is the point of actually being alive right now? Got in the shower, had a big cry, got out the shower and was thinking, you know what, I need to actually make myself look presentable because if I look pretty, I'll feel better, right? And now I've done my makeup, but I'm not going anywhere because I have nothing to do or a job to go to. So how are the girls that have been unemployed for half a year? How are you doing mentally? Because this job search is hell.
This is why they say anything can happen. I just lost my job. But I just lost my job over people who lied on my name, were jealous. Grown women, by the way, grown women. And this isn't just me thinking that people are jealous of me. I mean as in actual evidence that they have said to other people. I've never gone to a job anywhere. I've never gone anywhere in my life and people dislike me. I've never gone somewhere and they've disliked me for no reason. This new job I started, I've had these managers, so-called managers, who act like the jealous, horrible, nasty, like, people from school when you were in secondary school. And so just like that, I'm gone. And it's all a bunch of lies. I genuinely looked at that piece of paper and I said, I don't want to sign that because that's not true. If you hear why they've let me go, because I'm still in probation, I know they can let you go for anything in probation, but the reasons that they've come out with is insane to me. Like, as in reasons to be let go for coming back off break 1 minute late. 1 minute late, and I wasn't even late. Like, she said, it's her word against mine. And I was with my friend. My friend isn't getting fired. We weren't 1 minute late. I look at my Apple Watch. This job economy that we're at right now, it's so hard to find a job. It was so difficult. It was so difficult to find this one already. And here we are again. Round 2. I just feel like in my life, I made a video about this where I just feel like I can't catch a break. I just feel like it's always me. I feel like things bad always happen to me. I can never have something go straight forward. I can never have it just easy plain sailing. There's always some sort of curveball in the way, and it's not fair. Whoever's writing the script, I just want a break. And this is me in editing. So all the people that say coming on the internet to cry, yeah, I'm still crying. I've just tried to cut out the bits where I'm, you know, sobbing. I always hated people that would come on the internet and cry, because I'd think, well, you're sitting there editing, watching yourself cry. But honestly, I'm sat here editing right now and I'm still crying. So, you know, there's that.
I'm a doctor who's facing unemployment in August, and I've been talking about this unemployment crisis that doctors are facing, and I've been getting lots of comments on my videos, and some of them aren't quite getting it, so I'm going to address some of them again. Firstly, someone's called the BMA's campaign last year during the strikes classist because we were annoyed that doctors were getting paid less than baristas and bus drivers. And I think they're misunderstanding this. It's not classist to suggest that a doctor should be paid more than somebody like that, because the job involves significantly more risk and a higher level of expertise. You go to medical school for at least 5 years first, and you're managing sometimes 200 patients overnight who can all be really, really unwell. And, you know, it's a tough job. They should be paid adequately, and to be paid less than a bus driver or a barista is not appropriate. Someone's just said, why not become a GP? And I think they obviously haven't paid attention that there's 4-to-1 competition ratios for doctors like me who want to become GPs. There's not enough jobs. There's 4 doctors for every 1 job available. And then there's the argument of just leave the UK versus stay here and fix it, chat to your MP, you know, get some support. And this is such a tough decision because we can do better elsewhere. If I go to Australia, I will be paid better and I will work in better conditions and I have a nicer lifestyle. But then I do want to stay. I want to work in the NHS. I've got friends and family here. But it doesn't feel like politicians particularly care to make these changes, which is a real shame. You know, we did these strikes all of last year, and rather than actual change being put into effect, we were just vilified, which just shows really in the comments I've been getting. And then there's some comments which are saying, you know, leave the NHS, go into pharmaceuticals. And then some doctors who are my grade, or maybe slightly more junior, suggesting that they're going to have to become a barista or go back to pub and bar work after they finish their current training program, which is just crazy. Like, it's unbelievable to think that there are doctors in this country, fully qualified, able to progress their careers, but there are no jobs available, and they are going to have to go and do minimum wage work. Not that is bad work, just that it's unbelievable there aren't jobs for us. And another one from somebody who has a daughter who's a prospective medical student. And I mean, I would always say, if you want to do medicine, then go and do medicine. Just have your options open. Don't expect a job to be waiting for you. Sadly, that used to be the case, but it's not anymore. And just be aware that you are going to have a medical degree from an excellent university, and that shows a wide set of skills. You know, you don't have to just do medicine after you've studied it. And again, just as a final point, this is not my unique experience. All of my colleagues are in this position. It is a broken system. There's no plan. There's not enough doctors, and even though there's not enough doctors, there's still not enough jobs for the few doctors that there are. Keep the comments coming, because I want to try and shine as much of a light on this issue as I possibly can.
So I don't know if it's I have like an invisible sign on my forehead that says like, just give her all the briefs, all the rants, and like, you know, whatnot. But I recently had a job interview for a good project management role based in London, which is fine. And the guy just proceeded to rant to me about how he doesn't believe in education and values experience over that, which I get it. Experience is so greatly needed and valued and all this stuff. But if he took the time to read my CV, he would have saw that I have experience, a very vast level of experience, but also that I have multiple degrees because I did education, coming from Florida, moved to Spain, did all my education in Spain, and now moving to England. And yes, people may have their own opinions about, education versus experience. I love education, but of course, I've worked hard in my experience, again, being an American, having to prove to Spaniards that I can speak Spanish and all this stuff. And it's just like, I don't know about you guys, but it's just like so frustrating when someone is literally degrading education and the educational system, when it's like, I've done a lot of education as well. I don't know. Granted, I do have experience. I value experience. I see why experience is so very important. But again, when you're interviewing for a job, it's just like so frustrating when they're like, oh, I don't like the educational system. I don't like this. I don't like that. And it's just like, can we just talk about how my experience can value your company and not just you ranting about your thoughts and feelings on academia? Like, please.
UK bosses are slashing their hiring at the fastest rate since 2021. And this is all over the tariff fears. This is, I've never seen figures like this ever in terms of the slashing of jobs, apart from what happened during, the lockdown era. I've never seen anything like this. And the wages are expected not to move. It's funny how the Bank of England's saying, well, wages probably won't move by much this year, maybe just 2 or 3%, but at least it's still a rise. No, inflation is going to be over 3%. Mark my words on this. UK inflation is going to be over 3% this year. So if the Bank of England's telling you you're getting the pay rise at 2 or 3%, they're lying, because you're not going to keep up with inflation. So you're not getting the pay rise. These are the things that they know people don't understand, so they use all these tricks to try and fool people in a way.
Finding a job in the UK, when you graduate, it's probably different. But finding a part-time job as a sixth form student, when I was younger, I used to always see people with their jobs at Mackey's, at whatever, and I'd be like, I can't wait till that's me one day making my own money. I turn 16, I get my NI, crickets. I applied for every job inside, crickets. I got one interview. I've had one interview, and I've been applying to jobs for 2 years, 2 whole years. And I was like, I must be doing something wrong. So what do? I'm searching tips everywhere, asking all my friends I employed for tips, asking all the adults I know for tips, applying to more jobs more consistently. Still nothing. No matter what I do, nothing. And now it's getting urgent because I actually need the money. And I just feel like these job companies can sense how desperate I am. That's why they don't want to hire me. Someone please help. I remember I commented on a TikTok and it was this guy just talking about how he's doing jobs like a side quest. He was doing agency jobs and he was just everywhere. I commented tutorial now. I've been looking for a job for 2 years. Maybe I shouldn't have said the 2 years part. Now I know. Everybody was commenting being like, stop being picky with the jobs you apply to. You're not trying hard enough, you need to pattern your CV, you gotta be kidding. And they were just all making fun of me, and I'm just like, I asked for advice, and the creator didn't give me any advice. And all the people that actually did give me advice gave me the very generic advice. They basically were suggesting that I was going in blind, and I was just applying like a mad person. No, I researched all the companies, I catered my CV, gone in person and I've gone online, I've done both. I'm not picky, I've applied to any and every job. I apply as long as I can get there and I do a reasonable amount of hours. I applied there, still nothing. Anyways, someone help me out. What am I doing wrong? I actually don't get it.
The job market is cooked in the UK. This is yet another story about how bad the job market is in the UK right now. So this guy posted on Reddit that today he got an offer after applying for 13 months. And the craziest thing is he has over 10 years experience in tech and software. Now, I posted loads of videos about how students are struggling in the job market, but it goes to show that there's even older people, adults with many years of experience still struggling as well. So those of you who are students who are entering the job market, maybe you have a few internships or no experience at all, the fact of the matter is you're going to have to be patient when it comes to getting a job. So this guy here, he applied to over 900 jobs using Google Jobs, Indeed, and LinkedIn. And this is one of the mistakes that he made, is that he used generic job platforms like this. Now, I would encourage all of my students, and I would encourage you to do something different. If you don't want to be sending out 900 applications to get your job and instead only be sending out 100, you need to be using niche job boards. So I mean industry or job role specific job boards, which are online, which aren't the big ones like Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Indeed. And over the last 4 years, I've created a huge list of job boards and resources that you can use so you don't have to send loads and loads of applications out. And if you want access to that list, then DM me the word list and I'll send it to you. It's completely for free.
The thing I've been most worried about happening has just happened to the UK economy. And yeah, you actually probably should be quite worried now. Here's the monthly change in payroll employment. This is massive. That's 109,000 jobs lost for April. The orange line on that chart is where Labour came in, and the red line is a 3-month moving average. So you can see that since Labour's come in, it's been basically down only. Now, people are going to say that the higher numbers here were in a downward trajectory as well. This is because we were coming out of the pandemic, so you have something called a base effect, which basically means that when you're coming from a lower base, it looks like a higher increase as you return back to normal. Why is this happening? Well, Labour increased employers' national insurance, which meant that it costs way, way more to hire someone. So if you impose all of these costs on businesses, what are they going to do? Well, they're not going to hire as many people, are they? It's literal idiocy and economic illiteracy from the party.
Basically crashed out because last week I did an interview and it was between me and someone else and they picked the other person. So I spent a good 30 minutes crying because this is the new normal for me. Every time I put in effort to get a job, they always just pick the other person. I'm sick and tired of always putting in an effort, and that's why I just don't want to put the filter on, because this is like literally the state of me. Like every time I get a job rejection. Last week I got rejected from a apprenticeship. This week it's a job interview. Earlier this year I lost a job contract, which I'm glad I didn't pick up. Then I got rejected from another interview and another one. So I just wanted to show you guys that, yeah, this is what people go through.
I've been unemployed for the last 6 months. I've been lucky and very blessed that the majority of this time I went traveling around Asia. But then I came back to the UK job market of 2025. And it's the wild, wild west out here. It's the wild, wild west. I remember when I first came back, I was reading articles about how people are struggling to get jobs. And I remember listening to this podcast and hearing it's taking people 5 months to get jobs. And I was just like, what on earth, until I entered it. I feel like the job market, the UK job market in general, I underestimated how hard it is. And honestly, this job market has broken me. I've been broke. I've been broken. Like the ghosting, the way that you can't get feedback on the rejections of the applications, the long application forms, the 5-step processes. Like, I just feel I was just shook. So I'm going to share my journey in the UK job market of 2025. I'm going to share some tips. I'm going to share some failings. I'm going to share what I've learned and how it might be able to help you. And yeah, I might share some traveling stuff as well. So if you're interested in any of this, then follow along. I'll leave a comment with a question and I'll answer it, because I just feel like I have a lot to say about the UK job market of 2025.
Please ignore how awful I look, but I just want to come on here and just say how hard it is at the minute to find a job. I, no joke, have applied for every single job on Indeed. Like, I mean, not every single job, but like all the jobs that I want to do, as well as LinkedIn. and other websites, and nothing is coming through. All I'm getting is emails, but emails that I've applied, nothing coming back. I don't know if it's my CV, I don't know if it's like my experience, my education, my skills, I don't know, like what, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's really stressful. I'm on universal credit, so that's good, and I have got a work coach, which is helping. I had a job interview for that the other day. I didn't get it, but like I'm on the reserve list. I don't know. Oh, I'm rambling on, but I wanted to say that, like, if you're also looking for a job at the minute, then we're in the same boat. And I know it's so hard to find one. I literally have no idea what I'm doing. It's awful.
Don't skip. Watch this entire video till the very end.
I think we're going to continue to see that tick up in the unemployment rate. We're going to see wages start to drop down. This market has been on this downward slide for the last 9 quarters. You can see that pace pick up since the budget came out in October. Manpower Group's numbers will tell you that so far this year, hiring is down 37%. And also, workers are not moving jobs either. And so we see a 31% drop in the attrition rates. We can see in the job postings the pressure, the downward pressure in wages. Very unprecedented market for us. Hiring is acting as if we are in a recession. We're going to continue to see that go. We're going to continue to see wage pressure as we see some of the other changes take hold. And employers are also faced with the Make Work Pay legislation, which is increasing employment risk, reducing flexibility. All those ends up in the cost base. And once it hits the cost base, employers start reducing hiring and letting people go.
So you're saying the unemployment rate is going to go up and up. Is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely.
In the UK? And just
We found out today that the job market in the UK is slowing down. New data that was released this morning from the Office for National Statistics shows a rise in unemployment to 4.3% for the 3 months leading up to September, which is up from 4% from the previous quarter. At the same time, we're seeing slower pay growth and a continued drop in job vacancies, which is now at the lowest level since May 2021. And obviously a lot of businesses and business leaders are concerned, particularly after the recent budget, which introduced tax hikes, higher minimum wage and increased employer national insurance contributions. Companies are worried that these changes could drive up costs, ultimately leading to potential job cuts for employees and even higher prices for consumers. And trade groups like the British Chambers of Commerce are warning that businesses are feeling the pressure, with some firms putting hiring and investment plans on hold and considering other cost-cutting measures. So it's having a huge impact. However, not everyone sees it as negative. Some economists argue that the government's investment plan for public services, which we saw outlined in the October budget, could eventually boost the workforce by making it easier for people to get employed and enter the job market. When it comes to wages, although they are slowing, they're still growing at a higher rate than inflation, which fell to 1.7% in September, therefore slightly easing the squeeze on household finances, essentially meaning there is more money in our pockets. But the Bank of England's chief economist, Hugh Pill, said inflationary pressures still remain too high for comfort. He said pay growth remains quite sticky at elevated levels, and levels that, given the outlook for productivity growth in the UK, are hard to reconcile with UK inflation target, meaning we're probably going to see interest rates keep coming down to help fight inflation. Whoa, that was a lot. That's a lot of data for us to get in one day. But what do you think of this news? Let me know. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Joss, and I help you understand big business and economics news. And if you like this video, you can follow for more.
What is impacting the job market at the moment? I know many of you are looking for jobs or have been looking for jobs for the last couple of years. And those of you who have successfully found a job, congratulations. And there are two key things impacting the job market right now. And this is only from a UK perspective, because this is the market I know and this is the market I study. And what I'm saying is not brand new. Many analysts say the same thing. The first reason is because we have more people who are highly educated now. We have more people with degrees, more apprenticeship degrees. There are more people who are seeking higher education, masters, PhDs than we ever have. We are the most educated we've ever been in the United Kingdom. So there are more people who are educated than there are jobs. Which leads me nicely onto the second thing. We do not have enough jobs available for the demand. What is impacting the number of jobs available? 3 key things at the moment. 1, we have an aging population, which is great that we have people living for much longer, but also that aging population are working for much longer. And there is a life cycle with jobs that you do need people to retire so that those jobs are readily available for the next group of people. And that is slowing down. Second reason is because we do offshore a lot of our roles to other countries. 1, because some of those countries have developed their capabilities and they're experts, and they have a lot of people in that country who are experts in, let's say, for example, software engineering. And the third reason, which is quite new, is because the government increased the national insurance that employers have to pay. Some of that money that employers would have used to either pay bonuses or increase salaries or create new jobs, these organizations are now having to spend that money to pay the NI that has been increased. To global level, we do know in the next 5 years, I'm not saying, actually I shouldn't say no because we don't know, but the World Economics Forum, they issue a yearly report, and I believe this year's report, they said there will be between now and 2030 about 80 million net new jobs globally. But they don't specify which countries. Should be another 80 million jobs. But that does mean I think about 100 million jobs were disappearing between now and 2030.
This isn't laziness, it's collapse. People want to work. They just want decent pay, fair hours, and some bloody stability. Is that too much to ask? But instead of investing in people, this country cuts corners, cuts jobs, and then acts shocked when the system crumbles. So to every person out there struggling to find work, juggling side hustles, or drowning in debt just to stay afloat, you're not alone. Drop your story in the comments, subscribe to Brit Rants, and together, let's keep the pressure on, because this job market crisis isn't just about employment, it's about survival.